Okay, we had a discussion 2 weeks ago. They'll fix the camera in a minute. Had to run it here real quick.
There you go.
No, I want you in here on this discussion, Gary. This is very vital. We had a discussion on the war on drugs a couple weeks ago, Jeff, and we had a little opinion that whether the law should be prosecuting so-called crack users, and your opinion was no. And Gary, I know your opinion was no. And I don't know what your other Gary was. Your opinion, Gary. My opinion was that there's two sides to every story. There's a lot of things being havoc being rendered out here in the world because of all these drug users. Wouldn't you agree?
No.
Okay. Let's bring up Mr. X and maybe we can get a little bit. Mr. X, are you there?
Oh, wait a minute. He
okay, hold on. Put him on the air. Are you there now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're not going to, okay, let me just tell you, folks, we're not going to disclose who this is or where he's calling from, but this is a crack user. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Gary, what questions do you have?
Wait a minute. Let him. Let's.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you also an admitted burglar and thief, sir?
Pardon?
Are you also a burglar?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes.
So you're a self-admitted thief.
Yes.
Okay, so you're a self-admitted thief and a self-admitted crack user. Okay,
Right.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, go ahead, Gary.
Well, Mr. X, why did you start using crack?
Well, I got introduced to crack back in 81. I tried it for the first time, and it got to the point to where when I tried the first time, I wanted more and more because the high was so verbal. It was like a good high. And I still use crack today, but it's not like a major thing. I'm trying to go to rehab and get everything situated. But like you talked about if the drug dealers were to get caught, the smokers wouldn't have no. If they would catch the smoke, the drug dealers, the crack smokers, myself. There's no way that the police or anybody can stop crack or dope using crack because it's going to be around forever. It's going to be here for a while.
Sir, I want to ask you a question, sir. Are you blaming the crack for the fact that you're a self-admitted thief and burglar?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how do you surmise that crack usage causes you to commit burglaries?
Well, crack affects people in different ways. Some people smoke crack and once the high is gone, it's gone. But some people is heavy on crack. Once you get that first high, you do anything in the world to get that high. I don't care if it's stealing from your mom or stealing from your friends or stealing from the family. There's some way you're gonna have that next high if you're really addicted like I am.
Okay, sir, but the point I'm making is you're the one that makes the decision
right
to smoke crack, which you supposedly believe makes you go out and commit burglaries.
Yes, sir, it does.
So you're the one that makes the decision to smoke crack.
Right, I am. Yes, sir, I am the one.
Okay, so to scapegoat the fact that you're use crack as a means for committing burglaries and being a common thief doesn't make sense. You're just basically a burglar and a thief.
Exactly. But like I pointed out a while ago, sir, it affects different people in different ways. Like me, I used to do what I used to do to get it, but then too now it's to the point to where once you smoke crack for so long, there's no the high is not like it used to be. It's like it wears off. But some people that are weak and then they smoke crack and they got to keep smoking and smoking. They get so addicted to where they'll rob a store. I seen people get killed over $5 that somebody owed them for crack, and I seen people get credit for crack dealers and don't pay them. And the next day you find them in the Guadalupe River. That's the way crack is. It affects people in different ways.
Okay, yeah, but you're still the one that made the decision to smoke the crack.
Exactly.
So you're basically just a common thief and burglar. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, let me
Let's
ask
let
you.
Gary get in.
Well, let me ask you a question, Mr. X. What do you think is the difference between being, say, an alcoholic, which is somebody addicted to a legal drug, and someone who is addicted to crack, which is an illegal drug?
Well, there's two sides. There's two sides to that story, also, sir. If a crack user, and an alcoholic are like they're like running a race, sir, because alcoholic lives on one thing. You got to drink every day, and you got to have that high. And if you don't have that high, like when you smoke dope, if you smoke crack, if you ain't got that high, it's just you got to go do what you got to do. Just like a person alcoholic, people wake up and the first thing that people do in the morning is wake up and get a beer. And when I wake up in the morning, I got to go get my drug. I got to go find a way to
Sir,
get my drug. If I don't do that, I'm not gonna be right.
Mr. X, I got another quick question. I'm guessing that when you go out and commit burglaries and basically being a thief,
Right.
you use that money for more than just the crack, though, right? Food.
Well, yeah, some people smoke crack, they don't eat, and some people that smoke crack, it makes them eat. I got friends here where I live at now, just to where they all drawn up and they're getting sick because what they're doing, they're not eating. And a person, if you go down there and steal like I do, I got a cigarette habit, I got a drinking habit, I got a drug habit. But then too, when I buy crack, I got first thing I do, I buy my cigarette, I buy my food. Other than that, whatever I got left, I just mess it off.
Sir, I would advise you to stop being a thief and a burglar.
Yes, sir.
And if you can't afford, I don't care if you smoke crack, but if you can't afford it through honest means, then you're going to have to give it up or something else up.
Yes, sir.
You have to stop being.
Rehab, sir.
You have to stop being a burglar and a thief.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, Gary, did you have anything else?
Well, Mr. X, when you started, you got addicted to cocaine.
Right.
Do you remember when you first robbed a place or somebody in order to support your habit?
No, sir. Since I've been on crack, I never robbed nobody. I never killed nobody. The only thing I did, I would go to stores, and if people want something from the store, like Walmart or something, I go get it to support my habit. But I ain't never killed nobody. I never robbed no stores. It doesn't. Like I said, it affects some people in different ways. Some people go out there and rob stores. Some people go out there and kill for dope. But it's just a war on drugs, and it affects people in different ways.
Well, I don't understand what you just said. You rob stores, but you don't rob stores. Can you explain
Well,
that?
he pickpockets it.
You're a shoplifter.
Yeah, I'm a shoplifter. Yes, sir. I don't go around robbing stores or snatching women's purses or breaking into cars. I don't do that because that's not my MO.
Well, do you remember when you started shoplifting?
Back in '92.
So you must have been, I guess, at the bottom of your, rock bottom, and you decided you were going to have to start shoplifting in order to support your crack habit. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, how did you reach that point?
Well, it got to the point to where I started getting high. I first started getting high with my friends, and it came to me, and I got introduced to crack, and I enjoyed the high. It was a great feeling. But then too, when I smoked it the first time, I didn't appreciate it. But then too, the monkey got back on my back, and I was with my same friends, and they was giving it to me. It was free. I ain't never buy, so I stayed there, just getting high. Until one day I broke up from my home. So well, it was so damn good. I just go steal this and go trade that in. I'll give me some more dope.
Gary, I want to bring Gary Teague here. Gary, what do you have a question, comment, or what do you think about this whole situation here, what we're talking about?
Well, as far as the usage of drugs, of course, I'm totally against that. I don't use them myself, and never have, never will. But the part about the thievery and burglary, I'm definitely against. That's wrong any way you look at it.
So what we're saying, Jeff, is Mr. X, as long as you're out there smoking crack and not violating somebody's person or their property, I think everybody really don't care if there's people out there doing drugs. But
Exactly.
the part that the libertarian here is the bunch here is probably against is somebody violating somebody's property, which is
Well, then
taking
there's a
it.
victim. See,
There's a victim.
there's-
Now,
there
explain
can't-
that. Explain that, Jeff.
Well, you can't. There can't be a crime if there's no victim. Somebody smoking crack in his house, there's no victim. Maybe him, but that's his decision whether he wants to smoke crack in his own house. It's when you cross that line and violate somebody's, like Mike said, person or property, like what you do when you burglarize and what you've admitted here tonight. That's when you've crossed that line and you should be punished.
But we don't know who this is or where they're calling from, and we're not advocating that.
What's that?
Well, this is exclusive interview that
Oh,
we don't know
yeah.
who this is, and we don't know where they're calling from.
That's right. Well,
But I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out what he's talking about. He says that I should be punished for what I'm doing. I mean, in
No,
a
you
way,
should be-
In
a way
general.
that's true,
No,
but in
no,
a way
wait,
that's
wait,
not
wait,
true
sir.
because I'm not going around killing people or breaking people.
No,
down.
and-
but you're
you know,
but you-
he kind of upset me by him saying that, but then
But
too,
you-
everybody got their own opinion.
Wait a minute,
in-
sir.
in
I don't
general.
care if you smoke
In
crack.
general, he's talking about.
Right.
He's not talking about you as actor.
I'm only saying that when you if you burglarize and you're a thief, then yeah, you should be punished for that burglary.
Not for the crack.
Whether you smoke crack has nothing to do with it. You're punished just like any other burglar that doesn't smoke crack.
Right. Okay. Well, I understand that.
Okay.
Okay.
When you do you smoke crack or how do you take crack?
You use it on a glass form. You get your glass pipe and get you some Brillo, and you burn the Brillo, then you put your dope on there, and then you go from there.
Okay.
I told you learned something tonight, Gary.
The reason I asked this is when you are on crack, what do you do? Do you just sit in your living room or? Do you,
No, I do not smoke crack in my house because I have my mom here and I have my kids here. I don't do that at home.
Okay.
I go out, do what I gotta do, calm down, and I come home.
Okay. Well, I'm asking, do you going to this thing that Mike and Jeff are talking about? Are you harming anybody while you're on crack?
No, sir. Never have, never will. No, sir. No, sir. I get what I get. I go get high with my friends, calm down. I come home, and I'm not gonna come home and beat the wife up or beat my mom or steal from my mom, steal from my wife because I'm not that. It's not that serious with me. It's not that serious. It haven't got that serious to the point yet. That's why I'm trying to do what I gotta do to go rehab to stop before it does get serious.
Well, sir, the only problem I see is that you're being a thief.
Well,
Like I say,
we
you
all
can-
got together in the closet, sir.
You can smoke crack as far as I'm concerned, but when you break that line, then is that about wrapped it up, Mike? Or
What I would like to thank Mr. X for coming on.
yes, thank you, Mr. X.
For clearing up a lot of these things that we all wondered about. A lot of us don't have any knowledge whatsoever about crack or
Yes, sir.
or marijuana. Some of these people
Right.
might hear about marijuana
Yeah,
experiences,
I
but
smoke pot.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it.
but I'd like to
I
thank
smoke
you for coming on, and we don't want any bad things to come to you. We do
Yes.
want you to get some help if that's
Yes,
what
sir.
you want.
pot. I just
Yes, sir.
advise you that help if you want, but
I
stop.
don't like forcing people to
Stop
do anything.
stealing. Stop
Right,
stealing.
right.
Stop stealing.
All right, sir.
It's,
Thank you.
in this country, as long as you don't violate somebody or somebody's property, you're free to do what
Right.
you want, supposedly.
Supposedly.
But
yeah.
see, this is the whole problem, Jeff. That what's going on here, that it leads to other things, and that's why the public's against it. Right, Gary? And
Well, I don't know what the
Thank you, Mr. X, and you have a good, God bless.
Thank you so much.